Hey guys, in this video I wanted to share with you some of the interesting takeaways which I learned from the book The Dip. It's a really fascinating book. I'll highly recommend it. It's from Seth Godin, a person I really admire, and I consider him to be my mentor. What is so special about that book, and the reason I wanted to talk about it, is because it is one of the very few books which actually talk about quitting. As we are surrounded by a lot of work which encourages us to win and talks about completing and winning, there is very little literature which actually talks about quitting. And this idea is sort of reinforced by phrases like winners never quit and quitters never win, which I believe is completely wrong. Winners always quit. They have to quit at 100 different things to be successful at a couple of things. So learning the art of quitting is an essential part of the overall strategy of winning. As I said, it's a very interesting book and it has a lot of interesting ideas. It talks about different kind of projects and what are the different critical moments when you should quit and when you should not quit. But there are two things which I think are applicable to most of the projects and really appeal to me, so I thought of sharing with you. So Seth sort of describes that when you get excited about a project and you are really thinking of starting it, there are two key decisions to make. One is that you will initially sit down and write explicitly what your assumptions about that project is and try to smoke test them. And the example he gave for this is that he, in the early 90s, came up with an interesting idea of a digital photograph, which he thought would be massively successful. To test this assumption, he gave an ad in the newspaper, and the product was not built by that time. And he specifically wrote down that if X amount of people give the pre-orders, only then I'm going to go and build this project and ship it to them. And if less than X amount of people send their money for this product, then I'm going to just return them their money with a thank you note. And that's what ended up happening. What's beautiful about this simple idea is that when we are so excited about the project, it's really easy to get carried away by our emotions. And these small smoke tests, they help us see what the reality is. So that was the first part, to just smoke test what our assumptions are. And the second step is that once you think that your project is sort of passing those smoke tests and you are really going to embark onto it, try to look into the historical data of where most people are failing. And he gave two examples. One is that if you look at the medical school data, you'll realize there are 1 to 2 courses which are really difficult, and most of the people don't go past that courses. And of the few who end up passing those courses, the chances of them completing the degree is really high. And also another example he gives is that if you start writing a blog, there is a really good chance that you won't make past the blog post number 200. And that's where most people would give up before. So it's important to look at the historical data of your project and see where around 80 to 90% of the people fail, and make sure that the thought of quitting, it never even comes to you before you make past that inflection point where most people fail. So these were the two ideas which I really liked about. Some of the examples I gave to illustrate these points are not from his book. I found them in his various interviews and his blog. But it's, as I said, it's a great book. I'll highly recommend it. Do read it. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.